Good afternoon and welcome to TVM News. Today is Friday, February 22nd. I'm Ashlyn Jess.
And I'm Stephanie O'Malley. This week we'll tell you more about what will happen to the former Scranton School District business manager's pension.
We also have updates on the arrest of Jussie Smollett. And
we'll check in with TVM sports anchor Shannon Wood to find out the latest in Marywood sports. Marywood's Agape Latte hosted its first event of the spring semester. TVM's Megan Reynolds has the details.
Students are gathered here today in the Fireplace Lounge for Agape Latte's second speaker, nutrition and dietetics professor Jessica Brazio.
The event on Sunday featured snacks, coffee, and hot chocolate, followed by a performance by the Nomadic Chromatics before Brazio's talk. Though she was nervous at first, Professor Brazio is happy to have shared her faith journey.
So today's event was an opportunity for me to share my own spiritual journey, my own spiritual path with those who wanted to hear a little bit more about it. And so I see my faith journey as kind of being in three separate stages in my life. And so the first stage that I see as part of my journey was a seeking stage. The next stage is a remembering stage. And then the last stage is a harmonizing stage.
Agape Latte is hoping to hold more events in the future.
For TVM News, I'm Megan Reynolds.
Marywood's art therapy program will host a discussion on how creativity affects the human brain. The event will feature presentations by two art therapy professors on the neuroscience of creativity and how creativity can help trauma victims heal. The program will take place on March 29th in the upper main dining hall in the Nazareth Student Center.
A world-renowned musician will perform on campus next Sunday. Trumpeter Christopher Martin will perform and teach a masterclass to Marywood musicians. Martin is best known as the principal trumpeter for the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. The concert will be March 3rd in the Set Laverghetta Center for the Performing Arts. This event is free and open to the public.
Campus Ministry is once again hosting the annual Labyrinth Walk in the Liberal Arts Center Rotunda. TVM's Casey Markowitz has more on this Marywood tradition.
The annual Labyrinth Walk makes its way back to Marywood-University. The Labyrinth is located in the Rotunda and is open to the public for free. The path is a replica of the one found in the stone flooring of the Chartres Cathedral in France. A person's walk through the labyrinth is meant to represent their individual spiritual journey, which is harmonious to the journeys walked by others. Junior marketing major Brendan Dudley reflects on his Labyrinth Walk.
It felt kind of like surreal, like it has many winds, twists and turns, kind of like life does. You know, a lot of unexpected journeys that you end up taking.
Sophomore history and pre-law major Deanna Charpentier shares why she thinks other students should walk through the labyrinth.
It really does help you, especially during getting close to midterms and really finding your own spiritual value while walking through. It really gives you the opportunity to get into your own mind.
The labyrinth will remain in the Rotunda until this upcoming Wednesday, February 27th. And now I'm going to take my own walk through the labyrinth. For TVM News, I'm Casey Markevich.
Marywood's Momentum program is receiving donations from local businesses. This program allows high school students to earn college credits at a discounted price while they are still enrolled in high school. These donations are educational improvement tax credit donations. This means businesses who donate to the program receive a tax credit up to 75% of a contribution. If the business provides the same amount 2 years in a row, the credit increases to 90%.
Marywood's Housing and Residence Life is hosting the first spring town hall this week, where students could express concerns or ask questions of resident assistants. Another town hall will be held March 19th in the upper main dining hall of the Nazareth Student Center.
The Office of Student Activities and Leadership Development is hiring undergraduates for the Student Activities crew. The positions include SAC interns and shadows. A SAC intern is a position for seasoned event planners. A SAC shadow will give students the opportunity to learn more about event planning. Applications for these paid positions are due February 28th at 4:30 p.m.
The Student Activities crew is putting a spin on some classic game shows. This week, SAC held the first The Price is Right game show in the Fireplace Lounge. Students won prizes by guessing how much each item is worth. If you missed out on this event, stay tuned because SAC will be hosting a Family Feud game show on Monday at 9 p.m. in the Fireplace Lounge.
When we come back, we'll bring you local news, including an update on the Lackawanna County Commissioner's race.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
Whoa. For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
The Scranton School District's manager will keep his pension even if he pleads guilty to conflict of interest and restricted activities charges. Greg Sunday was charged with a felony earlier this month after he allegedly used more than $8,000 in school district money for car repairs. Under the Pennsylvania Pension Forfeiture Act, these charges would not cost Sunday his $6,500 a month pension. A pretrial conference for Sunday is scheduled March 22nd.
Lackawanna County Commissioner candidate Debbie Dominic will continue to work part-time as a public defender during her campaign. Incoming Commissioner Patrick O'Malley said last week he and Dominic would form a ticket to see if the Democratic nominations in the May 21st primary. In an interview with Scranton Times-Tribune, Chief Public Defender Larry Moran Sr. said Dominic committed to making her duties in the Public Defender's office her top priority before she made the decision to run.
A teacher from All Saints Academy was fired after investigation by the Diocese of Scranton. According to a letter sent to parents of the school's students, William Beachco was dismissed after violating the diocesan policy governing online social networking, texting, and personal behavior. After Beachco was fired, the diocese referred the unspecified incident to the Lackawanna County District Attorney for review.
Lackawanna County municipalities will soon have the opportunity to claim free desks, chairs, filing cabinets, and other furniture not making the move to the county's new government center. When the county left its former administration building, it left behind furniture that is now up for grabs on March 2nd. 40 boroughs, townships, and cities will pull numbers from a hat to establish an order for choosing the office decor. County Commissioner Patrick O'Malley says the giveaway will help local governments looking to avoid furniture expenses. It also keeps the county from having to pay to remove the furniture.
A local bar will be shutting its doors for the next 6 months. Rocky's Lounge in downtown Scranton will close for security improvements after a judge declared it a nuisance bar. Police were called to the bar twice in October because of shootings outside. Gunfire broke out at the bar again in December. Rocky Fiore, the owner of Rocky's, agreed to close the bar to add at least 3 security cameras inside the bar and another 4 outside.
A Scranton man is accused of assaulting his son and granddaughter. Dennis Burley is charged with 2 counts of simple assault, including 1 count on a person less than 12 years old. He also faces 2 harassment counts. Burley's son, Demetrius Burley, said an argument broke out between the two. Eventually, Dennis Burley allegedly grabbed his son by the foot, dragged him outside the house, and punched and kicked him in the face. Then, Elder Burley then pushed his granddaughter into a wall, injuring her knee and lower back. Magisterial District Judge Joanne Price Corbett arraigned Burley last Thursday morning and released him on a $5,000 unsecured bail.
3 former employees of the Scranton Sewer Authority are suing for their pension contributions. They claim the authority failed to contribute nearly $500 a month to their pension accounts while they were out of work in 2017. The authority says pension contributions are no longer its responsibility since it sold the sewer system to Pennsylvania American Water back in 2016.
Penn State Scranton is celebrating a record-breaking fundraising year for its annual dance marathon. Organizers say this year's thon raised nearly $40,000, surpassing last year's record of over $29,000. Thon raised money throughout the year to benefit charities searching for a cure for childhood cancer.
The City of Scranton is doing its part to help area homeless persons. City Council says it will open the gym at Weston Fieldhouse as an overnight homeless shelter if the temperature drops below 15 degrees. As of now, St. Anthony's Haven is the only overnight shelter in the area, and it has only 26 beds. The only day shelter in the area, Keystone Mission, has only 24 beds, but must turn people out after dinner. Keystone Mission says it will provide all volunteers and materials needed to run the Weston Fieldhouse Emergency Shelter.
Keystone College received a grant from a Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry for job training. The funds will benefit high school students in Wyoming County interested in becoming teachers. The grant to Keystone's early childhood education program will help teams from nearby Lackawanna Trail High School to start an apprenticeship and earn the certificate they need for their first job. After the break, we'll bring you breaking news on the R. Kelly sexual assault investigation. But first, let's see if there's any spring in sight on our 7-day forecast.
Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely. To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly.
Hollywood, here we come! The Atom has arrived!
Have a seat, my dude. For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Impressive!
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. When the Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely. To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly.
Hollywood, here we come! The Atom has arrived!
Have a seat, my dude. For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Impressive!
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
President Trump declared a national emergency last Friday in order to build a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Trump had this to say on why he chose to declare the national emergency now.
I could do the wall over a longer period of time. I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster. And I don't have to do it for the election. I've already done a lot of wall for the election, 2020. And the only reason we're up here talking about this is because of the election. Because they want to try and win an election, which it looks like they're not going to be able to do. And this is one of the ways they think they can possibly win, is by obstruction. and a lot of other nonsense.
Trump said he would take money from federal military construction and counter-drug efforts for the wall. Since Trump's announcement, 16 states have filed a lawsuit challenging Trump's authority to use federal funds to build a border wall by declaring a national emergency.
Chicago police have charged actor Jussie Smollett with filing a false report and felony disorderly conduct. Smollett previously told police in late January that he was the victim of a hate crime after two masked men assaulted him while yelling racist and homophobic slurs. The charges against the Empire actor came a week after two men were arrested for allegedly assaulting Smollett. The two men told police that Smollett paid them to fabricate the attack. The men were released 2 days later and are no longer considered suspects, but rather cooperating witnesses. Smollett is currently free on a $100,000 bond and was ordered by the court to surrender his passport. He is due back in court on March 14th.
A former U.S. Air Force counterintelligence officer who defected to Iran was charged with revealing classified information to the Iranian government. The Justice Department says Monica Elfried Witt turned over classified information about a classified Defense Department program. Witt is also accused of making target packages, which included personal and professional information on her former colleagues. 4 hackers linked to the Iranian government used that information to target the intelligence workers online. Witt has been on the FBI's radar for at least a year after she attended an Iranian conference and appeared in anti-American videos.
The race for the White House is heating up. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders announced he will be running for president again in 2020. Sanders is entering an already crowded field with nearly a dozen candidates vying for the commander-in-chief spot. 24 hours after Sanders announced his candidacy, his campaign raised nearly $6 million. Sanders ran for president in 2016, but lost the Democratic nomination to Hillary Clinton.
Russia is considering disconnecting briefly from the global internet as part of a cyber test. The test will mean that data passing through Russian individuals will stay inside the country, instead of being routed internationally. A draft law called the Digital Economy National Program was introduced in Russian parliament last year. The proposed law says technical changes are needed to operate independently. The test is expected to happen before April 1st.
Amazon will not be building a New York facility in New York after facing opposition over $3 billion in tax incentives. The new facility would have brought in 25,000 new jobs to New York. Some politicians and other critics felt the plan was a giveaway to one of the biggest companies in the world. Opponents also argued it would not have provided a direct benefit to most New Yorkers. Amazon said they are not planning to look for another location at this time. Instead, they will focus on their plans in Virginia and Tennessee.
Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was found guilty on 10 counts of drug trafficking at federal court in New York. Guzman was arrested in 2016 after escaping from a Mexican prison through a tunnel. After his arrest, he was brought to the United States in 2017. He was convicted on counts including the distribution of cocaine, heroin, illegal firearms, possession, and money laundering. Guzman has also been accused of drugging and raping girls as young as 13 years old. He has yet to be sentenced, but the verdict could mean life in jail.
Singer R. Kelly has been charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal assault. An Illinois judge signed the arrest warrant for Kelly early this morning. This comes after prosecutors launched an investigation into a video allegedly showing Kelly having sex with a supposed 14-year-old girl. A man known as the whistleblower handed over the tapes. He has worked for and known Kelly for decades, and he apparently met the girl on numerous occasions. Last month, a documentary series titled Surviving R. Kelly featured many interviews with women accusing Kelly of child pornography, sexual misconduct with minors, and other crimes.
Receding floodwaters in Queensland, Australia have left people exposed to a disease that has already claimed one life. Up to 10 more people have been infected with melioidosis, which is a soil-borne bacteria stirred up by heavily contaminated floodwaters. Health authorities warned people to be careful when entering flood-affected buildings. They advised people not to walk through dirty water, clean wounds after being in the water, and to wear protective gear.
A young girl got a little too close to the pandas at a zoo last Saturday. The 8-year-old girl found nearly 7 feet into a panda enclosure in a zoo in China. The 4 pandas in the enclosure simply looked on as a zoo employee tried to get her out of the enclosure. She was taken out of the enclosure by a male employee reaching in and grabbing her. After this girl was reunited with her parents, she was examined at the Zeus Clinic and again at a local hospital. Doctors say she was not injured.
The NASA Mars rover Opportunity has died. The rover stopped working after a major dust storm damaged it. When it landed on the red planet, Opportunity was expected to operate for only 3 months. The rover managed to continue working for 15 years. Opportunity set a record for most time traveled on the planet after roaming 28 miles. 3 more rovers from the US, China, and Europe will launch next year.
Up next, we'll check in with TVM Sports anchor Shannon Wood to see how the men's basketball team played in last night's game.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education. I dare you to be somebody important. Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star. I dare you to stand up here. To call the shots. To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you. Have a career that really means something? Then do it. I dare you.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's check in with TVM Sports anchor Shannon Wood for Marywood Sports. So Shannon, how were the basketball games last night?
It wasn't the best night for both teams.
Oh really? How so?
The men's basketball team fell to the Marywood-University Saints 71-64 in last night's Atlantic East Conference semifinals. In the first half, the score was tied 8 times, but the Saints used a stellar performance in the second half to defeat the Pacers. Over on the women's side, the Lady Pacers traveled to Cabrini-University to take on the Cavaliers for their own semifinals game, but after taking the game into overtime, the Pacers fell short to the Cavaliers 78-68. The men's lacrosse team faced off against the University of Scranton on Saturday, losing 18-9. Junior Zach Vaughn finished the game with 3 goals and 1 assist, while freshman Ben Mostakos scored his first career points and had 1 assist. The team played again Sunday in a non-conference game against Arcadia University. The Pacers fell to the Knights 17-9. Mostakos finished this game with 4 goals, while senior Matt Mitsarotonda had 2 scores. The swimming and diving teams closed out the Landmark Conference Championships on Sunday. The women finished in 5th place and the men in 6th place. Senior Mia Nardone closed out her college career by earning a bronze medal in the 200 butterfly with a record-breaking time of 2 minutes and 14.23 seconds. Freshman Maya Clasby broke the school record for the 200 breaststroke, finishing 9th with a time of 2 minutes and 23.26 seconds. For the men, sophomore Nick Dublinsky placed 6th in the 200 breaststroke at 2 minutes and 11.28 seconds. The championships were held at the Germantown Indoor Swim Center in Boyds, Maryland. The teams will join the Atlantic East Conference for their 2019-20 season. Pennsylvania State Representative Scott Conklin proposed a bill that could separate PIAA championships between public and private schools. Public high schools have voiced concerns that private and charter schools have an advantage because of their abilities to recruit students outside of the boundaries that public schools face. Last July, superintendents, coaches, and athletic directors from over 150 public high schools met in State College to discuss leaving the PIAA and establishing their own association to oversee sports in public schools. The PIAA says state law does not give them the authority to separate public and private schools. Spring training for Major League Baseball is underway. The Cactus League kicked off its schedule yesterday with a game between the Mariners and Athletics. The Grapefruit League starts its schedule today with the Rays versus the Phillies. This year's spring training will prepare athletes to do some world traveling. The Mariners and Athletics will be playing a 2-game series in Tokyo March 20th and 21st, and the Yankees and Red Sox will travel to London Stadium in England June 29th and 30th. The 68th annual NBA All-Star Weekend last weekend showcased the most talented athletes in the NBA, along with some celebrity appearances. Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics took home the trophy for the skills contest. Joe Harris of the Brooklyn Nets won the three-point contest, and Hamidou Diallo of the Oklahoma City Thunder was the dunk champion. Team LeBron beat Team Giannis 178 to 164. This game was also a farewell tour for retiring players Dirk Nowitzki and Dwayne Wade. That's it for sports this week. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Shannon. Children at the Scranton Public Library got the chance to read with some unique friends. The library hosted a Reading with Reptiles event last Sunday. The reptiles from Clyde Peeling's Reptiland included a snake and a gecko. The children learned about the animals and about their habitats and even got to pet them.
I don't know if I would want to pet a snake, but...
I mean, it might be cool to hold it, all Britney Spears style. That's going to do it for this week's edition of TVM News. From all of us here at TV-Marywood, thank you for tuning in.
Be sure to follow TV-Marywood's YouTube page and like the TVM Facebook page to stay up to date on the latest happenings and to watch additional content. I'm Stephanie O'Malley.
And I'm Ashlyn Jess. We'll see you next week.